Hello friends, welcome back to Hyper4Games. My name is Joseph and Sony is facing an aggressive FTC over the Bungie acquisition. Data miner shows COD content from The Last of Us Part 2. Sony may not be done with Bloodborne. Producer Naoki Yoshida confirms a Final Fantasy XVI trailer is coming soon, and more. Let's get into the PlayStation news. Sony may be facing some challenges in the form of an aggressive FTC oversight in order to acquire Bungie, according to sources speaking with the website The Information via IGN. Last week, the FTC started an investigation about the deal, which could delay it by about 6 months, despite Sony or Bungie never announcing an expected date to close the merger. FTC's concern is that this purchase could prevent Sony's competition like Xbox from accessing current or future Bungie games, which could turn into an antitrust violation. Just like how the FTC started an investigation over Activision Blizzard's purchase by Microsoft back in February, they will examine how popular games like Destiny 2 are and if their concerns are valid. Sony announced back in January as part of their acquisition intention that they were committed to keeping Bungie games cross-platform, but we'll see if that's enough to sway the FTC to their side as the US government continues to crack down on tech mergers. New The Last of Us Part 2 COD content has been data mined. YouTuber Spectlizer published a video that shows an unused boar hunt model for Ellie and a prototype version of the Jackson community that suggests a playable dance sequence. These are scenes that director Neil Druckmann and Troy Baker had discussed in the Voice Actors Related podcast back in 2020. The COD content adds up to other files found by the same user last month that hinted toward a Battle Royale mode in Factions 2. Naughty Dog's upcoming projects include a rumored Last of Us remake and the multiplayer Factions 2, which Easy Allies Michael Huber recently said sounded like they were being bundled together. Neil Druckmann promised to share more info on these projects as soon as they can, while industry insiders have implied they are getting ready for launch later this year. Sony may be looking into bringing more Bloodborne into your life as claimed by podcast host Colin Moriarty. This happened on Sacred Symbols live podcast celebration for episode 200, where they ranked the 25 best PS4 games. At number 9 was Bloodborne, at which point Colin casually mentioned that you haven't seen the last of this fan favorite IP. Maybe he has some insider information, or maybe it was just wishful thinking, probably the former, but it would be great for Sony to do something with the franchise like a PS5 patch, a PC version, or even a sequel given the popularity that From Software has gathered throughout the years, and maybe Elden Ring topping charts right now will convince them of that. Geoff Keighley has announced the date for the Summer Game Fest that kicks off with a live cross-industry showcase of announcements and games on June 9 at 2 PM Eastern, followed by Day of the Devs showcasing indie games. They are partnering with IMAX to broadcast that and the Game Awards in December at select theaters for full-scale immersion. Summer Game Fest also includes the Tribeca Game Spotlight on June 10 and the Xbox Bethesda Showcase on June 12. Sony is listed on their partners on the Summer Game Fest website, but it's unclear whether they will have a few announcements at the live kickoff event or if they will hold a state of play or showcase of their own. Last year they had a state of play before Summer Game Fest to show the first gameplay for Horizon Forbidden West. Maybe they do the same this time for God of War Ragnarok. It seems a Final Fantasy XVI release may indeed be happening soon, as producer Naoki Yoshida has confirmed again what he said last week in the Uniqlo clothing magazine, that the game is basically finished with the team focused on polishing and optimization. On a recent livestream for the mobile title Nier Reincarnation, he said a new trailer is ready to go but was delayed because of reasons. Those reasons likely being tied to Sony and whatever plans they have for the next showcase or state of play, which gives high hopes of seeing the game again at that stage. Now comes the big question: could the game release by the end of the year, or does an early 2023 launch sound more likely? I bet on the latter, but how about you? Sound off in the comments below. PS5 VRR feature continues to gather opinions from gaming and tech enthusiasts, more recently Digital Foundry. John Lindman and Alex Battaglia explained on their in-depth video that VRR is a welcome addition but not on par with PC or Xbox implementations. Sony's implementation is very standard to the HDMI specification, not going the extra mile to add additional features like low frame rate compensation when going between 60 and 120Hz games. For example, games that play at 60 FPS have a floor of 48 FPS, and 120 FPS games also have the same floor, which loses the benefits of VRR as you will see the same jaggies when turning the camera around. This is something that was also talked about by YouTube channel Gaming Tech, saying that it's a great addition for patch games but could fall anywhere for unpatched ones. On top of that, Digital Foundry mentioned some drawbacks where some displays will disable local dimming entirely or lower their quality. That's a feature that allows for richer black levels on TVs, which means that having VRR enabled can reduce picture quality showing a washed out image. So yeah, it seems the feature is there and its usage can go from okay to game changer depending if the game is patched or not. Hope this is something that Sony continues to improve with more firmware updates, or we see more game updates from developers in the future. Techland has announced that starting this week, every player that owns the original Dying Light release will be automatically upgraded to the Enhanced Edition. To access the new free content, you'll need to go to the game's main menu and choose the option DLC Packs, then download away. These free DLCs include the following full expansion with a new map, story, and vehicle, plus the Cuisine and Cargo Hardcore Quarantine Zones, the Bozak Horde with a new game mode, the Crash Test Pack with new skins, and the Ultimate Survivor Bundle with new weapons. IO Interactive provided an update for the Hitman 3 Year 2 content. The Freelancer mode that introduces roguelike elements, strategic planning, and a customizable safe house is being pitched as the next evolution of Hitman. And with that in mind, they are giving it more time in the oven to make sure the mode is as close to their ambitions as possible, with a new planned launch in the second half of 2022. Due to that change, the spring content has been adjusted with a new patch planned for May 24th, plus other updates throughout the month like featured contracts, reactivated elusive targets, a new yellow rabbit suit, the Ducky Gun, and a Dog Hunt challenge. IO also moved forward the release of the Rocky map for July 2022, and it will give fans an intriguing narrative taking place before the events of Hitman 3, filling a few gaps from the World of Assassination story. IO Interactive's team also had a few changes, with Hitman 3 director Matthias Armstrong joining Crytek as game director for Crysis 4, the official Crysis Twitter account announced on Tuesday. The sequel saw a reveal back in January following the NVIDIA leak back in November 2021. Hangar 13 leader Hayden Blackman is leaving the studio after 7 years to pursue his passion in a new endeavor. 2K announced the departure on Wednesday, saying they are grateful for Hayden's leadership in establishing Hangar 13 and uniting the teams across 3 locations, plus releasing multiple studio-defining Mafia games and collections. However, they didn't mention in the email that operating officer for the studio Matthew Orban is also leaving, both departures attributed to Hangar 13 pivoting from original projects to establish franchises like Mafia. A source familiar with the studio's plans confirmed to Kotaku that a new Mafia game is very early in development. Hangar 13 has not been in a good position since shipping Mafia 3, suffering layoffs in 2017 and 2018. At the time, they were developing several ideas for new IPs that include a spy game with music cues called Rhapsody, a class-based co-op action game similar to Destiny codenamed Bolt, and a loot-based action RPG, but all of these were abandoned. A Star Wars Battlefront III playtest copy has surfaced online. Reddit user Miss Fipit posted on the gaming subreddit showing photos of the UMD copy and screenshots of it working on the portable. The disc is a working playtest copy sent to the user's fiancé, who had LucasArts as a client back then, and despite the game being cancelled and all the assets gathered up by the studio, this copy somehow managed to stay behind. A few users in the forum pointed out the assets shown were likely from Star Wars Battlefront Elite Squadrons developed by Rebellion in 2009, which could have used some assets of the cancelled game. A couple of indie games have received final release dates on PlayStation platforms. Unpacking, the BAFTA-winning Zen puzzle game about unpacking your life in a new home from developer Witchbeam, is releasing on PS4 and PS5 this May 10. It was expected to release soon given the trophy list was posted on PSN profiles last week. Then Thymesia from Overborder Studio and Team 17 launches on August 9 for PS5, a fast-paced action RPG that seems to mix elements from Bloodborne and Sekiro and has you fighting as a doctor-like warrior Corvus trapped in a kingdom plagued with disease. Horizon Forbidden West has received patch 1.13 for PS4 and PS5, fixing a few glitches and issues related to main quest, side quests, audio, and UI. The audio issues have been annoying in the past couple of live streams I've done here on the channel, where it would stop playing and it took closing and reopening the game to fix it. So hopefully this squashes that issue for good. We end this video with a reminder of the PlayStation Store sales for the week. We still have Golden Week with 75% off, including games like the Evil Within franchise, Resident Evil 2 getting a free PS5 version later this year, Bloodborne, Final Fantasy VII and 8 Classic Editions, both Castlevania collections and more. Then games under 20 with a couple of Star Wars games celebrating May the 4th, Doom Eternal, Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition, The Ascent, and 765 more items. Both Golden Week and deals under 20 end May 11. There's also a weekend offer with Red Dead Redemption 2, The Outer Worlds plus its DLC, Mafia Definitive Edition, and the full trilogy. This weekend offer ends May 9. Wrapping up, there are a couple of limited time deals as well, with NBA 2K22 for 84% off until May 9th, and the recently released Ghostwire Tokyo is 34% off until May 11th. And there you go, that's all the time we have for this episode of PlayStation News. Let us know what you think about any of these stories in the comments below, like or dislike to share your feedback, check out other videos you may enjoy while you're here, and consider subscribing for more PlayStation content. Thank you so much for watching, my name is Joseph, this is Hype for Games, and let's get hype!